Question from JT here about the Commonwealth, Warwick. How relevant is the Commonwealth in the 21st century? You've talked about its flexibility. Is it becoming more or less important, and why, in your view?
Well, the first thing to be said about the Commonwealth is it surprises most people of my vintage that it has endured and it has grown, and it's delivered what? It's delivered common sense approach to dealing with global problems on a platform where there's a huge issue of commonality about how you manage countries and regions. It has no regard to gender and race. It transcends all of those things. They are values that it demonstrates that. It has a sort of bit of a fuddy-duddy look about it from time to time, but in actual fact, it has an engagement with community that keeps on demonstrating that it has value and has worth. And now you have technology platforms. That means someone in the Caribbean, someone in Malawi or Rwanda or Guinea-Bissau, we're all connected instantaneously. And what are we connected about? Well, we're connected about, wanting to understand what's happening in your community, what our community might do to help yours, where there's business opportunity, where we can support people that are going to go into leadership positions to lead communities at various different levels. And we learn from each other. There's nothing big sophisticated about this. So it's enduring, and, it plays a part. It's non-threatening. It doesn't have an army stationed anywhere. It does through goodwill and good work and good values. It's supportive. So
is that part of the reason why it's perhaps underestimated in the world? Because it doesn't have an army. It's not a might is right. It's not a big brother. It's not looking over your shoulder. It's there to be supportive and has soft skills rather than hard skills.
I think that's right, David. Soft skills play a role globally, and Commonwealth has a moral support to it, I think, really, because it's endured for so long, and it's always had largely the same message. It's not a coordinated trade bloc. It might have been in the very early days, but it's not a coordinated trade bloc. But it speaks with multiple voices, not always in agreement, but it's a clearinghouse for good ideas and good dialogues. It's not run by, I hesitate to say an ego above and beyond the organisation. You know what I mean? It's it has a rotational capability about how it's run and how it's put together and how it's delivered. And therein, I think, is a strength. It has a figurehead, and current figurehead's not been there 110 years, but I have to say,
been there a while.
Been there most of my lifetime, so longer. And so, I think that therein lies some, as I said earlier, some certainty, some stability, a reference point. If the Commonwealth says, look, this is outrageous, this is terrible, what's happening in the world, this speaks for a lot of people in a broad sense. That's a moral sway. That's not a bad thing.
No, I think you're right. I'm a big fan of the Commonwealth, as you might be able to tell. Otherwise, I wouldn't be sitting here, would I?